What is up everyone, Movie Wayne back again with another video. Today is going to be another end of month vlog where I talk about all the movies I watched in the month of May 2025. Although I think there's the odd TV show in here as well. Now I know this is a little bit late, but I've been on holiday. I've only recently just got back on the 6th and I'm recording this on the 8th. So I would have liked to do this earlier, but there's nothing really I could do about that. And also I've developed like a little bit of a cold from over there. I don't know. It's dying down a little bit now, but my voice might sound a little bit different there. But I didn't want to delay this any longer. So let's just get into it now with the first thing that I watched in May 2025. The first thing I watched was Friday. This is a rewatch for me. I've seen it so many times, but I just wanted something easy to watch. And me and my wife just said, let's just throw this on. And you know what? It was great going back to this. I just realizing how good this movie actually is for something so simple. Just two guys sitting on the doorstep, smoking weed, and looking at everything that's going on around the neighborhood. We meet really wacky characters like Debo, who's like the neighborhood bully. We've got this woman across the street, Miss Parker, who's just flirting with everyone who walks past. We've got the guy next door who keeps shouting at them for walking on the grass, you know. But all these things come together to just make it an unforgettable Friday, basically. And the writing here is just so on point. Nothing too extreme, over the top, world-changing happens in this movie, but it all just comes together nicely towards the end. And it's got great, like, Chris Tucker in this movie, man, is so funny. Like, it's made me want to watch more Chris Tucker movies now. I realise there's some I haven't seen. There's one called Money Talks, I think. I watched a little clip of that and I really want to check that movie out now. And the Rush Hour films, I think I've only ever seen the second one. So I will have to check out more Chris Tucker stuff now. I just think the guy's absolutely hilarious. Ice Cube, great in this as well. I think Ice Cube does sort of serious acting and comedy well, blends them both together really well in this movie. But yeah, I just love Friday. It's absolutely hilarious. And big shout out to Easdale, who is one of the best characters in this film by far. It's made me laugh so much in this movie. So yeah, that is Friday. Next up is going to be my new release of the month, and that is Thunderbolts. Now, I feel like the MCU has... I don't think it's stagnated as much as everyone says, but it's definitely stagnated. I actually really liked Phase 4, a lot of it. Eternals and stuff were movies I liked. But Captain America, the fourth movie that came out not long ago, I didn't really enjoy that all that much. And Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania was just very average, I thought. So it was nice to get back onto some really high-powered MCU movie again. And this might be in my top 10 MCU films, to be honest. Now, this is like a bunch of forgotten superheroes from the past shows and stuff. You got Scarlett Johansson's sister, Black Widow's sister in here, played by, what's her name? Florence Pugh, of course. And we've got, I think her name's Yolanda in this, and we've got like John Walker from Captain America, the Winter Soldier, who for me is one of my favourite characters in the entire MCU. I'm so glad we got more of him in this film, and he absolutely rules in this movie. I love that guy. Wyatt Russell just plays him so well. And a bunch of other characters, basically, who are kind of from the TV shows or forgotten characters in some of the movies, side characters, if you like. And they come together to form this team. And the person that they have to take on in this movie is like the most overpowered people you will ever see in the MCU. Don't want to say too much more than that if you haven't seen it, but it's scary how overpowered this guy is, basically. But what I really liked about this movie, it really does have a lot of social commentary and things to say about mental health and stuff. And I think it does it so well. It doesn't feel corny. It doesn't feel like a second afterthought. I feel like the whole movie is centering around this topic, and it really works. It really comes off. Now, I'm not someone who suffers from mental health all that much, but you can tell definitely where it's coming from. And people who've talked about mental health and you've heard their struggles, you can sort of see it and how it happens in this movie with these characters and stuff. But I really like this team that they formed. There's a lot of great witty humour in there, like the MCU always does, but lots of serious conversation as well. And I really thought this was amazing. I loved this movie. I really did. One of the best MCU films. I can't wait to check it out again at some point. Really looking on doing an MCU rewatch at some point soon. So it'll be good to go over this one again. But yeah, that is my new release of the month, Thunderbolts. Next up, we have a documentary from Netflix, and this is Oklahoma City Bombing, American Terror. Now, for some weird reason, this is just a case that has always been with me. Like, I watched a documentary called Bowling for Columbine when I was a youngster, and he was talking to this guy who got acquitted of this Oklahoma City bombing. His brother got done for it, and the guy's name was Terry Nichols, who got done for it, but his brother was in this documentary. I couldn't quite believe that the main perpetrator of this attack, Timothy McVeigh, was executed. And when he said that in this Bowling for Columbine documentary, it just fascinated me that America actually killed people if they'd done something wrong. Like, the death penalty was actually a thing. I had no idea. And this case just kind of always stuck with me because of that, and I've always kind of took an interest in it. When I seen this on Netflix, I was just in the mood for a little crime doc, and I thought, you know what? I've never really actually watched a full documentary on this. I'm going to give it a go. And yeah, it was really bad what happened that day in Oklahoma in 1995. You hear from some of the survivors or people who've lost loved ones, and it really does hit home, basically. And it's all just this bullshit political uprising that caused it all. People just being brainwashed by what they believe when they hear on radio shows and stuff. Does go into the political side a little bit there, but it does focus a lot on why McVeigh done this and everything. It's just a typical crime doc, but I really enjoyed it. Even the most simplest crime documentaries can really do something for me. So I give this 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I really enjoyed it. It's only 90 minutes long. Definitely worth checking out if you like your crime documentaries, basically. So that is Oklahoma City Bombing, American Terror. Next up, we do have Screamboat. Now, this was a huge disappointment for me, guys. I had a chance to go and see this last month. When I say last month, I mean April. But the Merseyside Derby was on, and I didn't want to miss that. It was a one-night showing, and obviously I picked the Merseyside Derby over this. So I finally got to watch it on VOD. And yeah, I've always thought, like, these type of movies, these public domain horror movies, would be better if they went down the comedy horror route instead of trying to be so serious, like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. And I do like them movies, but I think I might be wrong here. I think I might prefer the more sinister, darker route that they go down, because it is such an unrealistic take that most of these movies do, that to have it down such a dark path kind of makes it work even more. This one goes down the comedic route, and it wasn't quite working for me. It just felt a little bit too ridiculous. Like, there were this bunch of Hindu women walking around drinking constantly, and they were just so annoying. One of them was a character from Terrifier 2, who I really liked. I forgot her name, but in this, she annoyed the shit out of me. And the kills weren't all that memorable, to be honest. But my biggest letdown was the look of this Steamboat Willie character, played by David Howard Thornton, of all people, which drew me to this movie more than anything. But he looked ridiculous. It was a terrible creative design. They try and make him look small with huge backgrounds, but it never really feels like that. It always feels like a human, normal-sized guy in a suit. So, for me, Screamboat, it wasn't a very good movie. I was hugely disappointed with this one. And usually I can just watch these low-budget B-movie horror movies and just have a lot of fun with them. But this one just didn't work for me, in all honesty, guys. Unfortunately. So that is Screamboat. Next up is another movie that really didn't work for me after hearing lots of praise about it and seeing lots of good reviews on Letterboxd. And that is Happy Birthday to Me. I remember I bought this in a 3 for $15 deal. So, you know, it was only a fiver, basically. But I was expecting big things from this one. Yeah, I thought it was one of the worst slashes I'd ever seen. Now, this might be a huge reason for this, but they're kind of looking for this killer that's going around this campus. And at one point, I thought it was this certain guy. And at one point, he shows these two girls the head of one of the girls that's gone missing. And then they just all carry on with their day. And it took me about 40 minutes to realize that that guy had a prosthetic of her head because he's into art and stuff. So this might be my fault a little bit, but I was so thrown off of him like 40 minutes going, why are these people don't care that this guy's got this woman's head? So that is partly due to my fault. However, I didn't like any of the characters. I thought the kills were lame, and it just dragged. It went on for ages, and it was just a yeah. I mean, some of the decisions from like even if he has got this girl's prosthetic head, they don't find that weird. That's their friend's head who's gone missing, and they just don't find that weird. I mean, it's yeah. Wasn't for me this one, guys, unfortunately. I'm really struggling to remember most of it, to be honest. What's at the start of the month? But I just remember not really liking it. I give it 1.5 on Letterboxd. So yeah, happy birthday to me. Not so good of a birthday. Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say there. That was just a poor attempt at humour. Wasn't for me. Next up, we have Black Mirror Season 7. I watched some of this in April and then finished it in May. And I thought this was a pretty strong season of Black Mirror. I thought the first episode, Common People, was excellent. Really sad, but really well done. And the second one, which was this woman who could just influence people, I won't go into too much more than that, was a really good episode as well. There was another one, Hotel Reverie, which I thought was a really good concept about this woman who went into an old black and white film, but it went on for a little bit longer than it should have. We had a sequel to USS Callister, which is an episode from season 4, I think. Like a sequel. It was like a 90-minute episode, like a movie, to be honest. It was all right. It had the woman off Penguin in. I forgot her damn name. I'm really sorry. I'm trying to struggle a little to remember the other episodes there. Oh, yes, there was another one called Eulogy, which was really sad, actually. I was choking on tears with that one with Paul Giamatti in. Really cleverly done. But pretty solid season. I love Black Mirror. There's not really many episodes I don't like. Maybe 1 or 2 overall over this series, whole 7 series. So it's pretty strong the way Charlie, what's his name? I'm really struggling with names today. The guy who writes and writes all these stories. It's amazing that he can make all this up in his head. It just baffles me. It's kind of like Stephen King. How can you make so many stories up? But Black Mirror is very cleverly done, the way they are written and stuff. So I'm gonna really I'm gonna kick myself for not remembering that name. It's Charlie something, isn't it? Oh well. Anyway, Black Mirror Season 7 was pretty damn good. So that is Black Mirror Season 7. Delving into a box set now. Now there's 4 movies in here, but I did watch one of them in October around Halloween. And I did intend to watch the rest of them on 4K, but I never got to it. But I finally got to it now. And this is the Psycho box set. I'm not going to talk about the first movie, guys, because I didn't watch it this month, but I've watched it on 4K. But first up, we do have Psycho 2. Now, I've always thought this is one of the best horror sequels ever made, one of the most underappreciated horror sequels, but now I think it's actually one of the best horror films ever made. I've got like a top 30 horror movies over on my Letterboxd, but I've added this to it now, so that's like on 31 now. I enjoyed this a hell of a lot more the second time around, which is weird because I already know the outcome of the movie, but you can just see everything so well put together. Now, Tom Holland wrote this. I knew he would. I was just checking on the back, the guy who made Fright Night and Child's Play, obviously. I think he wrote this movie, and it's so well put together. As it sees Norman Bates released from the institution after 22 years because he's been fully rehabilitated, which is a bit of an unbelievable concept. I mean, he killed like 7 women, but whatever. But once you look past that little, as if that would really happen, they do go to lengths to explaining why he's come out and stuff. This sees him trying to get back on with his life, and the murders start to happen again around the little town and this house where he's living, the Bates Motel. And he doesn't quite know if he's going insane again or if someone is playing tricks on him. And I won't say too much more than that, but it's just so well done. It's such a cool horror murder mystery film with a great performance from Anthony Perkins in here. And man, it's just, by the end of it, I was like, that is a fucking masterpiece, that movie, man. Like, it's so good. It has no right being as good as it is. Now, I'm not one of them who thinks it's better than the first movie, but some people do, and I would not really argue with them. Psycho 1 for me is amazing. This one, man, it's so fucking good. It's such a good sequel, and I highly, highly recommend you check it out if you haven't seen Psycho 2. Fucking amazing, and looks great on 4K as well. Arrow done such a good job of this. So that is Psycho 2. Next up we have Psycho 3. First time watching me, guys, yeah. I've never just got around to Psycho 3 before, and it was pretty damn good. It goes down more of the slasher route, this one, but a lot of the main focus is on this main character who gets a job at the Bates Motel, and you're kind of torn on him. You don't quite know if you should get behind him or not, because he does some seedy things to women and stuff like that, but he's still a likeable character. He's just a complicated character, really. And Andy Perkins gives him a job in the motel and stuff. And yeah, there's murders going on and all that stuff again around the house. And yeah, it was okay. I give it 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I thought it was fine. Very, very, quite a strong third movie. I mean, once you get to the third movie, it doesn't really starts going downhill a little bit, doesn't it? But I thought Psycho 3 was pretty damn good. Yeah, no problems with this one, really. It's just not as good as Psycho 1 and 2. So that is Psycho 3. Next up, we have Psycho 4: The Beginning. Now, I thought this was going to be terrible, to be honest. I think it was a straight-to-TV movie, if I remember correctly. And I actually enjoyed this one more than Psycho 3. This is a pretty underrated horror film, and it just shows how strong this franchise is. I really wish they would have included the remake in here, because that's the only one I haven't seen. I've heard bad things about it. It's like shot-for-shot remake, but if it's watchable, this will probably go down as one of the strongest horror franchises out there, because there isn't a bad movie out of these 4. But this one really did surprise me. I really love what they've done here. This was Norman Bates phoning up a murder, like a radio show that's topic for discussion of the night is people who've killed their mothers or fathers. And he phones up and says, I killed my mother, blah, blah, blah. And they try and keep him on the radio show all night. And it jumps back to Norman's childhood, when he's a teenager and stuff, and his mother growing up, how she was with him, and why he's turned into this person. And really, Olivia Hussey, that's her name, plays Norman's mother. And she is obviously Audrey of It. She's in Black Christmas. She puts a really good job in here. She's really good at switching personalities. Like, she might seem a very likeable, caring mother, and then she'll just snap and switch totally and start taking everything out on Norman. And it was just really good to see him like growing up and how his character arc evolves into this killer, basically. But yeah, I've seen a lot of stuff from the Bates Motel TV show that they threw in there came from this movie. And yeah, the way he gets involved in taxidermy and stuff like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed Psycho 4. I thought it was a really fun 4th entry, and one that done something a little bit different, I thought. So yeah, no complaints really. Really solid film. That is Psycho 4: The Beginning. Believe it or not, guys, we went into another box set straight away here, and that is the Slumber Party Massacre box set. And there's only 2 movies in here. I know there's 3 films. These were actually first time watches for me as well. I always wanted to check these films out. Now, there's a little deal there on Amazon, doing this for £20 instead of $40. So big shout out to Craig from Bumpers Movies for putting me on that deal. I did give him a shout out in my Blu-ray pickup video. The first one here that I watched is the Slumber Party Massacre. The first one, of course. And yeah, this is just about this guy who terrorized the town a few years ago, and he's escaped from prison, and these girls are having a slumber party, and he invades it and starts killing people off one by one in this house while the parents are out. And yeah, there's some really fun characters in here. Like, a lot of the girls are very likable, you know, characters. The kills are pretty good. You know, some really fun, gory deaths in here. And the killer himself was a little bit uninteresting, I thought. The way he's going around with this big, stupid drill, killing people, was kind of fun to see. It's just it's a simple story that takes every slasher like tale that you've seen in the past and runs with that. You've seen this movie before, but it's one of the better well-done ones. I mean, thought the acting was on point and everything. You know, it weren't really shoddily made or anything. I thought it was just pretty decent. And yeah, I would definitely watch this again. So yeah, Slumber Party Massacre wasn't bad. Next up, we do have the Slumber Party Massacre 2. Now, this sees one of the survivors from the original movie this young girl growing up a little bit now, and she decides to go to this cottage slash seaside house, whatever, beach house if you like, with her friends, and she is tormented by her dreams of this guy who keeps coming into her dreams and sort of terrorizing her basically. Now it's not the same guy from the first film, it's just this totally different killer, and he eventually comes out of her dream and starts killing people in this house. And I thought that was a really cool concept, but what happens is he puts lots of musical numbers on there, and he's just like this really freaky Elvis type looking killer. And it's a little bit more of a comedic horror approach on this one. But a really cool idea that kind of pays off. Yeah, I mean, I think the killer in this one was a lot more likable. I don't think it's a better film, but it's only minor, you know, less enjoyable than the first one. I still had a really good time with it. So yeah, he's got like this big guitar with a drill on the end, which is just hilarious. Yeah, Slumber Party Massacre 2 was really fun, and lots of great characters in this one as well. You know, really glad to own these. I really have to check the third one out. That is Slumber Party Massacre 2. Next up, we have The Ugly Stepsister. Now, I didn't catch this one at the cinema because we didn't get a release over here, so I did have to wait for the Shudder release. And this sees the Cinderella story taken from the ugly stepsister's point of view. And her mother is really pushing her to look her best because the prince is looking for a new wife, basically. And this involves lots of treatments to make herself look better, like, what you call it? I've lost the word, but you know, like getting a nose job and stuff while she's awake, and it's really painful to watch. And then she's getting these eyelashes sewed onto her eyelids. Yeah, her mother is really just doesn't care. She wants her to look her best, no matter how far the pain barrier goes, how much it traumatizes her, how much pressure it puts on her. And there's a little bit of social commentary in there about trying to learn to love yourself, and also how other people can be a horrible influence on our lives. Kind of something like The Substance does, and this movie has been getting compared to The Substance a lot, although it's a totally different film. It just has some of the same mixed messages in there. But what I really liked about this is what the director did with the aspect ratio. He made it look, or she, I think it's a she actually, made it look like an early 90s straight-to-TV movie in a fairy tale land. Now what I mean by that is, if you think of something like The Secret Garden or something, where there's no CGI, no special effects, it all just looks quite a believable type of movie with simple costume design and everything, but it just feels like it's in that early 90s TV bracket. That brings that believability, if you like. I hope that makes sense. It doesn't seem too out there. So yeah, I thought this was pretty good. Not a very nice film to watch, but I still enjoyed it, if that makes sense. So yeah, not bad. That is The Ugly Stepsister. Next up, we have Final Destination Bloodlines. Now, this almost got my new release of the month, but it does go to Thunderbolts. However, this is my second favourite movie of the year. Thunderbolts is first, up to now. But I went into this not expecting too much, and I don't know why, because I really enjoyed the first 5 Final Destination films. It's a pretty strong horror franchise, but I was kind of surprised how good it actually was. This is my second favourite movie in the franchise now. I think the first will always be my favourite, especially for that opening scene. It's just stuck with me all my life. This one sees this woman have a premonition in the 50s, and she makes these, she saves everyone because of this premonition, but she saves so many people that they go on to have families and stuff, and death kind of can't keep up with it. And it's come all the way to the present day for him to go through all these families, kill all their children and everything, and finally get to this last family who were sort of the last family to sort of die in that disaster, basically, in a premonition. And I just thought that was such a clever little way of doing a Final Destination movie. It makes it much more bigger and bolder. The writing doesn't leave any plot holes anywhere or anything. It all just comes together nicely. I really like what they did for Tony Todd's character in here. It's always been a little bit of a mystery to me in these movies, but man, there was some send-off for William Bloodsworth in here and Tony Todd himself. I think this movie might have the best collective of kills as well. Like, there's like MRI machine death that is just absolutely fucking amazing. The garbage truck death, wow, I was just like, that is so well done, especially the little build up before it. It's just so great the way it's done. Yeah, I absolutely love this film, guys. I did. There's some shoddy CGI here and there, but I was having that much fun with it that I could just excuse it. Normally, that would be a big problem, but for me, it wasn't. I absolutely love this film. And this now is up there as one of the strongest horror franchises. I don't think there's a bad movie in this franchise at all. Even the fourth one that everyone hates, I kind of enjoyed it. So that is Final Destination, Bloodlines. Believe it or not, guys, we have delved into another box set here, and that is the Species box set. Now, I won't be talking about all these films because I haven't watched them all this month, but we will start with, that's the wrong one, sorry about this, the first movie, of course. Now, I have seen this before. I watched it when I was young, and I probably shouldn't have because there's lots of boobies in here from Natasha Henstridge. But yeah, I couldn't really remember the ending of this film. I remember everything leading up to it, but I just wanted to watch it again because I thought if I'm going to watch them all, I might as well watch the first one again. And yeah, this is a pretty solid movie. It does feel a little bit low budget at times, but basically Natasha Henstridge is this alien life form, or it's been made from alien DNA, and these scientists want to kill her because she's too dangerous, but she escapes from this science lab, and it basically becomes a manhunt to find her and track her down. And the government are getting all these specialists involved, like Michael Madsen's character and stuff. And they basically need to track her down before she can basically mate and expand their species. And it's pretty good. It's a pretty good thrill ride. Michael Madsen's great in this. Ben Kingsley's in there. And Natasha Henstridge's pretty damn good as well. Now, Forest Whitaker in this movie, I know he's a great actor, but he might go down as one of the worst horror/science fiction characters I've ever seen. I couldn't remember him too much, and when I watched it, I was like, have they really written this dialogue for him? Like, I'm not joking. This woman is killed on a train, and there's like all this evidence of alien sort of mucus and stuff, and this woman is just dead in the corner. And they look in and go, oh my God, what happened here? Then Forest Whitaker comes in 30 seconds later and goes, something bad happened here. They've like hired him to sort of recreate the steps that this alien has made, this Natasha Henstridge character. But he's just so stupid. Like, it's so stupid the way it comes off in this movie. It's like comedic. And then another moment where she gets out of a car at one point and goes away because she sees all these characters coming after her. And then Forest Whitaker sits in the car that she was in, gets in the driver's seat and goes, she walked. No shit, man. That's why you're sitting in a car that she was driving. He's terrible. He's fucking awful in this movie. But I still had a good time with it. You know, there's some really great death scenes in there. Yeah, pretty good movie, and I was looking forward to the second one after watching this, put it that way. So that is Species. Next up, we have Fear Street Prom Queen, a movie that is everyone seems to be hating on. But I really enjoyed this. This is a simple throwback to the 80s slasher film, even though it's a 2025 film. But it's all set in the 80s, and it feels like an 80s slasher film. And it's got kind of a mix between Prom Night and Carrie melded together there. What I mean by that is it all takes place on prom night, but the character is kind of like Carrie White, where she's kind of bullied at school and she's like an outcast, but she's going for this prom queen anyway. She wants to do her family proud because this family tragedy struck many years ago, and she wants to kind of forget that, and she thinks women prom queen can kind of make her this new sort of personality or character, if you like. And she's going up against these four mean girls who are all awful to her. But as prom night ensues, so do the kills. And it's basically a whodunit slasher movie. Some great death scenes in here. I mean, they're not the most creative, but they feel impactful. They feel like characters have really gone through the pain barrier here. Just the way they're filmed and stuff. The ending, I kind of guessed it, and then something else happened where it kind of threw me off. So I was like, oh, is that the ending? And then I was like, oh shit, didn't see that coming. So for me, I thought this was a pretty good Fear Street film. I think it might be the best one, to be honest. I like that original trilogy, but I don't love it. I much prefer this standalone type movie. It's not really linked to the first three movies at all, apart from little pieces of dialogue here and there, like, oh, it takes place in Shadyside, and there's something about someone mentions the witch at one point, I think, but you can watch this without watching that trilogy. But yeah, for me, I really enjoyed it. Really liked the main character and stuff. Pretty simple film to watch. 90 minutes, flew by. Me and my wife really enjoyed it. So that is Prom Night, Fear Street, Prom Queen. Next up, we do have Ready Player One on 4K. I still haven't got that CX sticker off there. Yeah, I'd never seen this movie before. First time watch for me. Steven Spielberg film. I fucking hated it. I hated this movie so much. Wow, I couldn't believe how much praise this movie got. It was just fucking awful. Yeah, like basically these characters are living in this shitty world, so they go into this game to escape the shitty world. And the whole movie basically is CGI. Like 80% of this movie is CGI. I had no idea that it was like that. And it was just eyesore. Like there was some good moments in this movie. Like there's one moment where there's a race, which was kind of cool to watch. And there's another moment where we go into the Shannon's Hotel, the Overlook Hotel, and go through famous scenes of that movie. That was about it for me. There's lots of pop culture reference thrown in here, left, right, and centre. They couldn't save the movie for me. It was just that shining moment that I kind of liked. And the characters, didn't like any of them. The main guy was just so miserable. I forgot what's his name? Oh, is it Taylor Sheridan? I forgot his name. I'm really going to have to forget it. Anyway, I didn't... Olivia Cook, is it? From Bates Motel. She was okay, but even she couldn't save this movie. Yeah, I just didn't like any of these characters whatsoever. Steven Spielberg's worst film I've seen. I haven't seen all his movies. I know he's probably made worse because I know there are some films that aren't really highly regarded. But for me, out of all the ones I've seen, I looked at his filmography afterwards. This is the worst one. I don't get why people like this movie. It was fucking shit. So yeah, Ready Player One wasn't for me. The problem with blind buying sometimes, if I had seen this film, I would never have bought it on 4K, but there you go. And do I think it's one of them that might change for me on rewatch? No, I don't. In all honesty, it just wasn't for me. And I thought it would have been because I'm a gamer and stuff, but no, didn't work for me at all. That is Ready Player One. Now we have much more of a better movie on Blu-ray. This was sort of a blind buy, but I'd heard a few recommendations from it. But it looked like my type of film anyway, and that is Unlawful Entry. And this is Kurt Russell and his wife, who is a very good-looking woman in this movie, Madeleine Stowe. And they move to this neighborhood, and someone robs their house, and they feel very insecure, and they kind of want to move, but they don't want to. They don't want to let the burglar beat them. So Russell Crowe convinces her to stay, and Ray Liotta comes to this house. He answers the call with his partner and says, oh, look, I can get you the best security and everything, free of charge. I'll fit it all, don't worry. And he takes a liking to this couple, and he kind of goes a little bit too far and won't leave them alone. And he starts to become infatuated with Madeleine Stowe. And Kurt Russell really doesn't take a liking to that, and it becomes like this toxic little triangle, if you like. And Ray Liotta just pushes it and pushes it and pushes it, and he is a mean bastard in this movie. He is quite a sinister fella, but it's a great performance. I really enjoyed this one. This is such a good thriller, edge of your seat stuff, and you really want Kurt Russell to get the better of him in this movie because Ray Liotta is always one step ahead. So yeah, really enjoyed this film, guys. Really good thriller. If you like your thrillers, I think it's a 1992. You like 90s thrillers, best decade of thrillers for me. Check this out. This is fucking great. Bit of an underappreciated film. I don't really hear anyone talk about this. It was only because I heard Andy and from Forgotten World of Movies and the guys on their live stream talk about it once. That was the first time I'd bloody heard about it. So yeah, Unlawful Entry. Really glad to own this one in the collection. Next up, we have Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Now, this is not my favourite Mission Impossible film, but it was still a pretty damn good movie. There's a lot of setup for the first hour and stuff like that, but once we get past that, there's some great action sequences in here, especially the submarine part in the middle of the movie. Tom Cruise is an absolute madman, and he will go out to arms and lengths to make these movies for us. So it really should be seen on the big screen. He has gone that extra mile. There's also a great action sequence at the end of this movie involving two sort of planes with him and another character. But overall, just a really good Mission Impossible film. It's just not one of the best ones, but that franchise is just amazing anyway. There isn't really any bad movies in it, is there? And I'd say this one is somewhere in the middle there. But yeah, I mean, pretty damn good. You know, does what a Mission Impossible movie does, and you come out of it fully satisfied. It's a little bit long, but I didn't really feel the runtime all that much until like the last 20 minutes, and that was when the big action epic scene started to come into the fray anyway, so my mind kind of got took off it. So Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, pretty damn good movie. Next up, we have The Surrender, which came to Shudder, and this was one of the worst movies I've seen all year. It sees this mother and daughter looking after their ill father slash husband, and when he finally dies, the mother has plans to bring him back using this kind of weird priest character who's going to come to the house and try and bring him back. And the daughter doesn't take too kindly to that, but the mother doesn't care. She's doing it anyway. And there's a little bit of conflict there. Now, it started off all right, like a family grieving type movie, but then it just went into all these places that I just didn't care about. Once that priest got to the house, it became like a whole spiritual ritual type movie, and I just don't care for all that shit. And then the third act tried to be scary, and it was just so dull and boring. And this is a 90-minute film, guys, and it dragged like hell. I will say there's some good acting in there. I thought the acting was really damn good from the mother and daughter. Overall, guys, it just, you felt that low budget, you felt the runtime, even though it was 90 minutes. It dragged, it was boring. That's a problem with some of these Shudder movies this year. Some of them have been really fucking good. Some of them have been terrible. Like worst movies of all time. And it's like my third worst movie of the year. I do not recommend it. It was just so boring, guys. So that is The Surrender. And last up, out of the Species box set, we do have Species 2. Now, me and my mate Jamie watched this many years ago as teenagers. Wonder why. And yeah, I remember thinking it was okay back in the day, but I couldn't remember too much about it. I'm talking like fucking 25 years ago, mate. Sorry, guys, I don't mean to keep swearing there. I'm talking like 25 years ago I watched this movie, or whatever it was when it came out. I don't know the year it was when it came out, but 1998. Yeah, about 25 years ago was it that I watched it. And I just remember this astronaut guy being the alien this time, and that's what it was. Natasha Henstridge is absolutely wasted in this movie. She only really comes into the fray for the last 10 minutes. She's kind of just in there to get on the cover, basically. It doesn't really involve her at all, but it's basically this astronaut who's loved by everyone. He's like a national hero. He goes to space, and he gets infected by this sort of species type, the same disease, the same DNA, comes down to Earth and tries to mate, basically, and get his species. But he actually does it this time before these people can get to him. Yeah, Michael Madsen's in there again. Didn't know he returned. Totally forgot he was in this movie. It's okay. It's just not a lot happening in this film. The first one is definitely more thrilling, more entertaining, has more stuff going on. This one just feels like a little bit of a bland sequel. It's watchable enough. It's okay. But it's not on the level of the first. I'm not looking forward to 3 and 4. I've got to be honest. They look absolutely terrible. But yeah, Species 2 wasn't bad. So that is it, guys. I'm really sorry about my voice. I couldn't really... I was kind of losing my train of thought on some of these movies here. I just haven't been well for a few days. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed the video. Please let me know what you thought of these titles. And am I wrong? Are my opinions wrong? Please do let me know. Well, they can't be wrong. It's just an opinion. But do you disagree or agree? Let me know. Thanks so much, guys. You take care. I'll see you all in the next video.